Yeah. I'm making a lot of noise rustling around. I'm very early. Hello. Hello. Gonna wait a few more minutes. Oh, wait a minute. Top chat. Damn it. Hello. I hate it when I forget to do from top chat to live chat. Hey, Sherry and Barbara. Good. I'm glad you're here, Barbara. I just kind of float around, from week to week, doing what I can do under the camera. And there's Lori, River City. Well, you just capture what you can, Barbara, and then it'll be on repeat after that. River City, I think I said you. Lori. All right, we're going to go. We're going. Just, what is that? Oh, that's the edge of the iPad. Yeah, that's better. I've had this little book on my mind for a long time. This is I've had it 30 years. It's like a saddle. It's made so well. It's by Hartman. I never used it because I'm not a journal person. So you've got all these little pockets. And I was watching Gina Ahrens the other night, and she took the rings out of one of hers. And I just didn't quite have the heart to do that. So I got online and found a way to make a little adapter just out of plastic you've got laying around. Can you see it? And then your books like this that you don't have holes in, you can just slip them through your little adapter. This book's not a good. Well, it went that way. Okay. You slip it through your adapter, and you can make these any size you want. And then you can take them out. You can work with them. You can do whatever you want with them. Isn't that cool? So that was my weekend discovery. And I want to put one of Shannon Green's tool holders in it. But it'll have to be quite a bit smaller. But I know where I can get one, right? That is by Shannon Green. And these are called Custom Keepers. I got a luscious pair of lips on that one. So that's my plan, not like I needed for anything. I got this today and haven't had a chance to open it yet. So if I can find a knife in here. This is the subscription snack box from Art Snacks. And I've been getting this for several years now. It costs $25 a month. Nice piece of cardboard. You get a bookmark that tells you about the products that you're going to get. 25% off. They also have a little store for the things that they sell. Put in the box. Oh, I get a sticker. And 2 pieces of candy. Smarties and, a little bitty gum eraser. I'm going to have to get this over here a little bit. And then this is the goodies. I used to keep this green stuff, and I quit just because I had so much. Ooh. I got them already, but ooh. Some soft pastels from Rembrandt, which is my go-to brand. This is right in the middle of hardness and softness. Glazes beautifully. In fact, this is a color I use all the time on my faces. How cool is that? The phone doesn't want to go back in. How in the world did they package? Did somebody sit and push these things in? I guess so. All right. What else did we get? We got unbreakable lead, mechanical pencil, HB.5 with some refills. So now let's see. I don't want to spend very much time on this, but see what this is. The mechanical pencil has a retail value of $7. The soft pastels have a retail of $10. Oh, wait, where's the artist pit pen? Oh, I dropped it. Oh, there it is. Ooh, I've been wanting one of these. This is a Faber-Castell pit pen white. If I'm not mistaken, I think this is new. And that has a $3.60 value. And then we have the little kneaded eraser, 75 cents. Stonehenge craft paper by Legion. That's what this is. That's a nice, hard, nice weight. It's 100% cotton. That's cool. So anyway, now you can say you've seen the unboxing of a... These are supposed to be, look at that. Really good. This is India ink in the Faber-Castell. Made in Germany. And it's store horizontal. That's cool. I'm glad to have that. And I'll put that right there. And y'all who know me well, this is last month's box. I haven't even opened, I mean, I've opened it, but I end up with 6 at a time and then put them where they need to go. Okie dokie. Ta-da-da-da. I finished my journal. Look at that. It's the first art journal I have ever completed. I completed my journaling by fives from Shannon Green. But other than that, I've started a whole bunch of journals, but I haven't finished them. So I really pushed yesterday to get them finished. Again, for most of you that don't know, I print my own papers. Okay, let's see what's going on in chat. Hey, Linda. Hey, kitty, kitty. I don't know, Lori, did you add it up? I didn't add it up. And little disclaimer, I've been in it so long, I get it for $20. So yeah, they should. And of course, we all know that retail doesn't mean anything. 7 and 10 is 17, 18, 19, 21. No, this one doesn't have. Well, that's not very nice. I'm not going to count the candy. So, usually it's a whole lot. You know, it could be $5 over. Anyway, here we go. This is the end of my journal. And I've jelly printed and pulled all of these papers. This is why I keep a dirty plate, you guys. See all this grunge? See all this? All this is grunge. It's crusty bits left on the plate. That's not my stamp, but it could have been. I think I stopped. You all may have seen some of these, but these are wild and out there. Now, this is like a wallpaper book. If somebody wanted this type art hanging over their fireplace or wherever, big, 16 by 20 or so, if they were to look through this book and find things that they liked, I could paint a large one for them. So that's how I justified spending time on this. Other than that, it's just a playtime. And it's kind of a warm-up to get you in the studio or get me in the studio. I made my own washi tape with score tape and help me, somebody help me. Well, shoot. What's it called? Gold leaf. Oh, thought it was going to be all better today. This one is, I think I told y'all last week, this is a little sketch I did using the Russian Saus. It's like charcoal, but it's blacker. And it's also, when you wet it, it becomes, you don't see it on your hand. So I've got a blank page here. I've got to find another woman to put over there. I always like it when I've got some red on a page. These aren't my colors, so it's real nice when they come out. Turquoises are my colors. Turquoise. This is a layer of paper towel. But in order to be able to print more, which I love, I've got to use more because paper is overtaking my room. This is a piece of eco-dyed fabric that I did at Rosemary Morris's last summer. And I'm hoping that she gets out in that yard and does some more pretty stuff. This is a piece of tissue paper that a friend of mine was on a fling one time and did just a whole bunch of painted tissue papers. And when she moved into assisted living, I got the papers. I don't even remember what that's a mark from. There's no telling. There's a little Wasatch. Is that how you say it? I have to ask my therapist again. Anyway, you paint acrylic paint on a piece of paper, and while it's wet, then put the ink drops in it. And when you fold them together, the juxtaposition of the ink and the wet acrylic makes some interesting marks. And that's what we're about, is mark making. This is from Around Jelly. This was the off print, or ghost print. This is a piece of freezer paper that I had under some work one day. That we're getting close. We're getting close. This looks like leopard, doesn't it? The leopards are loose. This is the Yasumoto traditional Chinese ink. This particular one is silver black. So there's silver mica mixed in with the black. And it's really a neat look when you get them. It's not expensive. Get it on. Oops, I see something needs to be clipped. Well, I hate being double-sided with grown-up glasses. It's not the gold. I didn't put those back in. I particularly like this. This is washi. Man, guys, my brain is just off. The paper they throw in China for Eastern Asia for good luck. Again, got that on Amazon. I love this color palette right here. I have a new color that I love. This is Naphthol Red Golden mixed with the purple Color Flash from Folk Art, and it makes this kind of brick red color. I think it's really pretty. It's fun to find pieces that I've already done that relate to a page. If you stopped and painted everything to relate, you'd never get done. That's it. Just the final page. Da 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 da. No, Lori, that's my Earth Mother writing. a goddess writing. It's fun. You just do it. Make marks. My mother-in-law was Japanese. So I've got lots of her stuff. I need to photocopy a lot of it to so that I can use it in collages, because I'm not going to use the originals. Here's some more of that eco-dyed paper from Rosemary. So there's my book. I am so tickled with it. All right, now we're down to the good stuff. And I'm going to show you what we're going to do. This is a Creative Commons photograph. Sometimes I just feel like practicing painting and not worrying about looking for a picture I've got. And I need an admin to organize all my pictures. I used to keep them perfect order, but I don't anymore. I cleaned off my little tray. Basically, I always start with the same color palette if I can. I like to work with fresh gouache because it is an opaque medium. And if you use what's left on the plate, just water this down, your look is going to be a little more like watercolor than gouache. And that's fine as long as that's what you're looking for. But you have to know that in order to know what you're looking for. This is Spectrum Yellow from M. Graham. Rated highly on Mind of Watercolors list. I'm going to lay that right there, and maybe it will help soak up or re-wet the. I need to get my tube bringer out too. And another good reference for gouache painting, well, I think this one must be about dried out, is James Gurney. Let me write it in there. He plein air paints in gouache. And I need to get my phone and open it up. Hi, you're net out. I haven't seen you in ages. Grandson? All sorts of people snuck in while I was running my mouth. Let me pull this up on YouTube over here on my phone. If I buffer or anything a whole lot, just let me know.
I think that the scar is a little bit...
That's not my... Look, it's the same plate. Lost it. That was Lena this morning. That's funny. Same plate. I looked at it and thought it was mine. Gotta remember to keep that pushed up. Okie doke. Alt new watercolor. No, I have not. I haven't heard of it. What is it? Azure. Like an azure blue. I'm weak on yellows over here. Naples yellow has white in it. Raw gouache has white in it. Lemon yellow and spectrum yellow. Those are going to be close to the same. Talking to myself. Looks like I need some gouache, folks. Some of this was gifted to me. Indian yellow might work for my... If you ever have a tube of... This has a lot of water. One brilliant. I always keep an empty tube or two when I run out of a tube, because I have dropped lids before, and if your studio is anything like mine, which there aren't many that are, you'll play hell finding it. Okay, I think that's it. So I need some yellows. Now I can take that tube of M. Graham. Sometimes if you squeeze the sides, that's not going to do it. You can get a little bit of water down in there. That one's right up to the top, so it may not work. You can close it up and try to find a place to sit so it can drift down in the bottom. This book that I'm working in is the just plain old paper scrapbooking book. And I drew that in upside down. Oh well, it's just a playbook. And I did these in gouache. That one doesn't count. This one. And I love the feeling of it. It reminds me of oil, except it dries quick. This colored pencil. I think that's conglomeration. This one, look at that. It looks like velvet. And I haven't been able to duplicate it since. So we're going to paint this upside down. Iris. I've already drawn it. I drew it with my etcher mirror, which I dearly love. Y'all seen this because I demoed it several times. This is the newest and latest technology for a camera obscura. You put your iPad at a certain angle and the glasses at a certain angle, and your picture's on your iPad and you can trace. Low battery. And I don't want y'all to have to see the cord, so... I want to turn it like that and like that. Got a new stand that... Oh, that's why. It's because it's... a new stand for the iPad or holder that fits onto my camera stand. This is the first time I've tried to use it, which is not such a good idea. Let's see what Naples looks like in the tube. I'm going to use that, and I'm just going to put it right there. It's close. If you ever want to know what's in it, if it if you're doing something that it really matters, it's got chromium titanic oxide. Oh, it doesn't say any white. That's weird. And a warm red. And a cool red. Ooh. Ooh, baby, oh, baby. And I don't want to waste it, so I just put a little bit out of this. Yes, you can use it when it's dry, but like I said, I like to use it. I also need to get some more white. I wasn't aware I had used that much paint. Just messing around. Okay. Here we go. See if we can recreate. Well, I'm glad I haven't seen you. Okay, here we go. Sherry Gouache is called heavy body watercolor. And in a nutshell, it's watercolor with white added. So it's opaque, and it also dries consistently to a matte finish. You can see that here. There's no sheen on that paint at all. Where with colored pencil, you get a sheen. Colored pencil. It can be used as watercolor. You thin it down, and it's pretty much like watercolor, except you've got that opaque thing to mess with. I already got paint on it. You've got the opaque issue, which traditional watercolors is based on the its transparency. So if you want opaque and a feeling of blending color a little bit more like you do with oil, then gouache is great, but it remains water soluble, so it can always be reworked or ruined, whichever the case may be. Oh, the new thing, the new kid on the block is acrylic gouache. I tried a sample pack, and there's no way I'm going to use that. The only thing it has in common with gouache is that you can re-wet it immediately if you get to it before it dries, and it has a matte finish. And other than that, it's acrylic. That's it. So you don't get any of the fun part of gouache, in my opinion. I've got my trusty, this 20 years old low Cornell. It's pretty good synthetic. I try not to mix paint with my good brushes. And this is a natural hairbrush, and it comes from China. They've got them from, I don't know, $3 to $15 or $16 for a big one, and they're really pretty good. Pretty good. And y'all aren't going to see anything until I always come in, or have been lately, coming in too dark. I don't know if I've got any moderators in here or not. It's okay, Sherry. You don't have to paint to enjoy it. If you ever want to learn to paint, you need to make sure and get on my mailing list. Because I have an art school that takes you through all the basics. and then let you get a kit, and then everything is provided in the kit. So I could have used a little white. And in watercolor, you use water to get lighter colors, and in gouache, you use white. And you know what? I could have gotten out purple. You just stick your finger in the yellow. Because this is redder than need a bluish purple, and I think I've got it. This again is Graham. But the two mixed together will be pretty. I also got a cheaper brush so that I could use the point a little more. Y'all know I don't like to use the points of my brushes. Okay, I'm going to leave those alone for now and let them dry. I'm still learning the intricacies of wash. And if you want to practice your drawing, then by all means draw it and get the practice. If you want to practice with your painting, get it on there any way you can so you can get on with your painting. There are no rules. The quicker I get this blocked in, the quicker you guys can start seeing it. I see chat moving. The paper in this book is also not designed for wet media, but it worked pretty good. And this is a Canvas Corp product. I don't know if they still have it or not. You know how these companies are. They come out with something and they've got to have 10 more new things next year. And they can't carry everything, so they got to get rid of some. Okay, check. Bye, Nana. Good to see you. Sherry, my experience is the talent is the want to. And if a person wants to, they'll put in the time and effort that it takes to do it. It's not a God-given talent, believe me. I just have the want to. And stuck with it long enough to get proficient. And I'm pretty much insatiable when it comes to trying new stuff. New stuff for me, anyway. The reason I'm painting is that people who come in every week, or try to come in every week, just say they love seeing it. And I keep thinking, why do you want to watch paint dry? But my favorite thing to do on camera is working in my journal. Because it's easier to talk. And that's another reason why I drew this ahead of time. Okay, now see how dark that is? I didn't mean for it to be. So we'll work on it. Bye, Lori. Yeah, and I found something today when I was going through some papers that I need to finish. This is silver point. It's drawn with silver wire. Let me get the glare on it just right. There. And it tarnishes just like silver. It's been around since Rembrandt's day. It's what they used to use before there were lead pencils. And the more that I mess with this right here, the more I will liquefy that underneath layer. And it will bring the color up. It'll kind of like melt the darker shading I put down first. See? Now this was a case where I wanted it to be water soluble, so I can go back in there and use that other color to blend with. And if this turned to acrylic, you would be real close to not being able to do this. Let that dry a little bit. Hi, Vaughn. I'm just, Azure, it's called silver point or metal point. Let me write that down for you. And it's just, while we're waiting on that to dry. This is just in a mechanical pencil that my puppy got hold of. Well, that one's kind of monkeyed up. This is the way they used to do it. They inserted a piece of wire. Get that where you can see it. In a piece of wood, but a mechanical pencil works much easier. And you can use a silver spoon. Has to be a certain kind of paper that'll take it, and that won't. Let me see. Well, I guess I could do it on this. Hello. This playing card, which is all it is, was I put chalk paint on it to test that to see if it was a good enough ground for the silver point, because you do press fairly hard. Yeah, just did that with this. So it's really kind of fun. You don't have to have a whole lot of anything. You can coat your ground with Chinese white. Some gessos will work. So if you like to draw, this is fun. Uh-oh. Red splatters. Like most artists, I don't take good enough care of my finished work. These would be cool if you put 4 of a kind in a frame. And I just use vintage photographs for these. That's Charlton Heston, or supposed to be. I wasn't worried too much about likenesses. So anyway, now you know about silver point, or metal point. Silver is the most popular because it tarnishes, but you can use any kind of wire. You can use gold. You can use copper. Now that blue thing that leaked onto my page, I just got rid of it. I'm going to go back to this brush. Because the natural hair holds a lot of water. And I just want my brush just a little bit damp. Not going to stand right now. Nagging. I was hoping this white would really show up against this paper, but it may not. If I'm going to do any feathering or anything like that too, it's a good reason to use a synthetic. I don't know if I'll put the water droplets on or not. Okay, I gotta have a drink of water and I'll check the chat. I love good water. Okay. Oh, no. Hi, Sharon. This is from yesterday, Scotty. I'm sorry you had a bloody nose. Doggone it. Vaughn, that is it's relatively new. I don't care for it because it kind of has a plasticky feel. You're better off trying one of the gouache whites or something like that, or applying gouache and trying that. Like I said, that one kind of has a plasticky feel. The old masters made their own out of rabbit glue and chalk and all kinds of stuff they had to cook, so you don't want to go there. And there is a gesso that the people who do this all the time like, and of course, you know, I've got to have one just in case. Nope, I'm looking. If I can put my hands on it real quick. And I may not be able to. And off I'll still. I think it's by Art Secret. It's probably right up there in my face. There is a metal point group on Facebook, and that's where I learned about that particular. Now that I've got a little bit of that blue over here, I need to put a little bit over here. Let's go ahead and put that. Ooh, that's bright. And once again, I got it too dark. How about you almost got it black? Got all that water in there. See a little bit of pink. I probably won't, but come on now, I just want some of that green. Everybody still awake out there? Um, 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 um. Um, Let me do it. Let me do it. Let me do it. I did a search for just plain old silver point, all one word. That may be why. There's all kinds of stuff. Trying to find. Now, Dick Blick says they've got to create a silver point pencil by Create-A-Color. But you just got your Blick order this morning. There's a good Wikipedia on it, too. Okay. Let me go back and see what's going on there. Beth, not really. I don't talk through these as much because of the class that I've got to school, so I don't teach a whole lot on here. Does that answer your question? Okay, I'm going to go back to see where I am here. I want some of that purple again. Sometimes things work out and sometimes they don't. See, everybody's always so concerned about mud. Look at that beautiful mud I just mixed right there. It's too dark, but I know my petals are growing. Yeah, let's see. Ah. This is all new experience. Let that dry because I got to get whiter. It's always darkest just before the dawn. And then every once in a while, you just can't get it. I'm going to let that dry just a little and come back in and see if I can screw it up more. Most people don't like painting because they don't like the back and forth you have to do. The trick to getting that petal to go down and then back out, so it's coming up, down, and back out. So there's a cup in there, and it is really hard to get. Right in here. And then right here is where it starts cupping back up again. Somebody out there is probably saying, no, don't do that. See how that dries out. kind of wondering whether it's easier to get the glow. Gouache is a totally different animal. Mm-hmm. And y'all can't even see the picture. Drat, I need to see if I can get that where y'all can see it. Where we can all see it. To hold my thumb on it. That might be a little more entertaining. I am definitely boogering up some white. Excuse my French, but that's the way I talk. And I'm not letting it dry enough in between either. What else are you doing to sabotage yourself? Well, for non water media paper, I'm throwing a lot at this. Okay, check. I don't have my class teaches the basics of value, form, color, tone, perspective, those kind of basics, and then you get to experiment with the supplies that are included, which oil, watercolor, encaustic, and what's the other one? Soft pastel. So I'm not holding back. It's just that I got to be careful I don't step on students' toes. So that's why I don't do gouache, because gouache is so similar to watercolor. Yeah, this is traditional acrylic. I said in the beginning that I tried the acrylic gouache. That's the new kid on the block, and every manufacturer is trying it. And all it is acrylic that dries to a matte finish. And honest to God, that's about the only difference from acrylic. It might stay open a bit longer. Than acrylic. Okay, now let's get back to that other. I don't want this to jump up and bite me. This really isn't a technique. This is just trying to shade colors so that they come out looking like the flower. And as you can tell, I'm potzing around with it pretty good. I'm having a little bit of trouble with it. All I'm doing here is just mixing colors and trying to match them to what's on the screen. So if there's anything in particular you want to know, put it in the chat and put question first. Put question and a colon. And I'm more than happy to share. And there's not a whole lot on this I could share because I'm not doing too well. Come on, get white. I'm putting almost straight gouache on here. As far as this being a beginner class or technique, Not any more than when you try to paint realistic in acrylic. It just takes practice, patience. And a little bit of color mixing theory. Because when you get into artist quality materials, you are required to mix more because you don't want 4,000 tubes like you do craft paint sitting around because you can't find them when you need them. Does that make sense? So by learning to mix, you can get by with 7 or 8 colors. All right, dry down, dry. All right, let me see what's going on. Judy, did I answer you? This isn't a technique. I think that's what I'm trying to say. This is just plain old painting. And in journaling, you don't really do plain old painting. You're doing more collage work and in order to do plain old painting, if there is such a thing, you have to know the things like how to mix color. You have to know why a circle, how a circle, just a drawn circle on your paper, becomes a ball. And you do that with knowing the basics of how to shade and whatnot. You need to know those things. You got to know how to color mix. You got to know. I don't focus on drawing because that's not exactly essential. What I said about the way this leaf cups this that cups in and then back out, and I'm having trouble getting it. Not that there's any. I mean, there's just some things you have troubles with. This being one of them for me today. And I guess that goes along with this incident 1, 2, 3 technique. Then I would be Bob Ross and I'd be rich. I've had this trouble before when I was working with gouache, getting it too dark and then having trouble pulling it back. There's really not much variation in the color. Now, if I kept here and kept potzing with that, eventually I would get it if my paper held up. And that's why it's good to have good paper. Excuse me. Always free to ask me anything. You can DM me, you can, whatever, you can ask me in class. And if I don't know the answer, I'll tell you where to go get it. And probably if I left that alone, because it's almost where I want it when it's wet. I've got the thing curving over that way. Okay. No, it's not top secret. It took me 15 years to learn that stuff because not any one teacher taught the full range of the basics. And I could have cut my painting learning down tremendously had I known the basics first. I was trying to paint without knowing what makes something look like it's turning in the wind, like this damn pedal here. So by knowing the basics, you've got a head start. That the flower on the iPad and the picture is blue and it's purple on mine. It's this color of purple. And the other thing I'll say is that because it's so voluminous in depth, the class can take up to 4 months to complete. And that's not something that you can learn in an off, just like we are right here. So if you want to learn to paint, that is a good way to learn it. And it was kind of a niche that nobody was filling. Not project based either. Most of it is straight information. Come on, lighten up, damn it. Well, this didn't turn out near as good as the pink ones did. You win some, you lose some, and some get rained out. This one's doing the same thing. It's coming over the top and then down. No. Now where it goes down will be darker or lighter in my case, since I can't get it to go white. When it starts coming back up, it gets lighter. So this is lighter. There really isn't a vein in that, but it kind of helps get where the darks go. Alrighty, we've got to finish this up. Vaughn, did you teach school art? So it's easier to go dark in a gouache than it is to go light. So then that tells me painting light to dark would be similar to what you do with watercolor. So right. And up the way it's supposed to go. Y'all enjoy seeing me struggle over here talking to myself? And if I were really working on this and it was something real serious, I'd leave it for a day or two and then come back to it. And chances are the problems that I'm having are because of me not leaving it alone. I have to tell y'all that I think that line comes down that way. I've enjoyed playing with craft paint. Sometimes you just don't really feel like mixing. If you're down and dirty on a project, you just want to pick up the right tube and let it rip. Now, before I started messing with mixed media, I did not allow craft paint in my house, in my studio, and now I've got a ton of it. And that's just the way I was trained. Whoever said this was your mother's favorite plant or flower wouldn't recognize this one. So there's that bowl. You can see it. I can anyway in the picture. But these are just play paintings. I mean, the other thing about them is that it's such good practice. And believe you me, every artist in the world does this. What you see is what their best effort is. Down and back up. And I'll come back to that in a few minutes and it'll be gone. Any questions? Oh, it does look better in the picture. Hey, Shauna. Hey, Kathy. Did you get off work early? Or is it that late? I'm serious, Judy. If you have any questions, you let me know. Yeah, an hour and a half and 2 hours is about all that I can do on one painting at a stretch. Now, if I'm really painting something, I can paint. I mean, if I'm really spending time in the studio, I'll switch from an oil to a watercolor to whatever and paint a long time, but there's only an hour or so on each one. That spot of white right here looks like a highlight. And I could paint this in pastel, soft pastel, in half a heartbeat. But I want to do it in gouache because I want to learn gouache. Is there much of a lag, or were you at 80 buffering today? Hey. Okay. You taking them? Okay. I was going to the smoke shop. That is true, Azure. And, you know, you'll paint. When I first started serious painting, I might get one kind of halfway good one out of every 15. And it took several years to get it up to 4 or 5 halfway good ones. And if I'm paying attention and planning and thinking and I'm in the zone, I can get 8 or 9 good ones out of one start now. And I'm tickled with that. Oh, Kathy. I was self-employed my whole life. It's great until you retire, and then where's your 401k or your retirement plan? I don't have one. See how that's just sucking it up, the dark, sucking it up. So I think I'm going to quit on that one and let it rest. Flowers sometimes are really hard for me. Faces are the easiest, which is surprising. So what do? I paint flowers a lot so I can get better. I'm not happy just painting one thing in one medium. I got to paint everything in every medium. Leave it alone. Put the brush down. Yeah, this is a funny story. When I was recovering from some really serious surgery a couple years ago, I got well enough that I could sit up in my chair. I had a hairball in my colon, and it wasn't cancer, so I just had to recover from the surgeries. So anyway, I got strong enough where I could sit up on the edge of my chair, and I had a lightweight watercolor palette that would lay flat. It was a tripod that would lay flat or raise up. And I've made myself paint every day. And I thought, just paint every day. That's why I didn't take process pictures or anything. So I did one that I just really wasn't happy with. And it popped up on Facebook, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, what you were doing when. And I was going to share it. And I almost said something like, well, this one hit the bomb. It should have been in the trash. And somebody bought it. One of my friends from a long time ago. So I have to remember that. I'm way too hard on myself. But I've been that way my whole life. Art certainly does remind me that I'm not perfect. I think that's probably why I like it. If it was real easy, I wouldn't enjoy it. I was thinking if I had something that y'all might like to see that I can get my hands on. Mm-hmm. That was just sitting up on the shelf. I don't know when I painted that. It would have been 2013 or so. I used to have bright red hair till I realized it was all white underneath, and it was no wonder I was having trouble getting the roots to stay gone. The key to something like this is I was painting it from a mirror. So I had to get the thing set up where the mirror would capture my image, but I could, look just a little bit and see what was in the mirror, and then shift back and paint that. So it's a challenge. I love oils. You live them and live them. This is a watercolor commission I did. This particular piece is a Gouache print. The originals with my friend, but that was kind of a fluke. But it ended up looking like her. What I did before this, though, all they had were 2 pictures of her that, to keep it a surprise, 2 pictures. One was taken in sunlight with flash. So her face was just completely flat. There was no shadowing or contour. So I made a clay maquette out of, it was almost life-size. It probably was life-size. So that I could turn it on a wheel and get some shadow with a single light source. That was a fun project to do. Yeah, because you're taught to squint. Look at your subject and squint, and then remember what you see and come back and paint it. Well, if you're painting yourself, you come back and you paint the squint. Makes you look like you're mad. I did that once. Somebody said, "Why are you looking like that?" And, oh, hell, I was squinting to make it easier. I do everything. Landscapes are also not a favorite. And so I paint them. That's a few. All right, guys. Be sure and hit the like button. YouTube is so squirrely, we never know what rules they're going to change. And, that right now the algorithm supposedly helps the content creators. I'll come back to this and fix that part right there. I'll get it white, I promise, or lighter. You're welcome, Judy. Oh, why am I an angel, Beth? Gee, that makes me feel good. One of the let's go back on that teaching thing, Judy. Most of you, I think, know that I was pushed off a cliff when I was 52 when our house burned down and our daughter didn't make it out of the fire. She was almost 15. And I had a choice to make, either get better or die. And my therapist said that it might be a good thing, since I'd always worked in creative fields, to try painting. And once I could get into, like Vaughn and I were talking earlier today, once I could get into that knew enough about the painting so that I could ignore what I was trying to do and just do it, then I got peace. And so that peace is what I try to share in the school with people who need something to do. So there you go. All right, I'm going to shut up. Thanks for coming. And I will see you all on Thursday. Shauna, yes, I'm up to it. I just want to move to my chair, and I will be there. Okay, Thursday at 4. I'll be back. Bye.